Well, good morning. Here we go. Third day in a row. We're doing shorter ones as we go along, but it is Friday morning. It is Halloweeny. And after a stop at the office, I got to go to the eye doctor. Check out my right eye. It's a little bit blurry over just to this one side. I can see what's up with that. Getting old. What a drag, huh? I haven't been to an eye doctor since I was 8 years old. I'll tell you a quick story. I was 8 years old. No, I was a little older than that, maybe 9 or 10. And as the eye doctor, my mother took me to the eye doctor. She wanted to have my eyes checked, like a good mother would. And if I could see like an eagle. And I said, okay. I went to the eye doctor. The eye doctor comes out of the room at the end of the exam and tells my mother I need eyeglasses. God, I wasn't popular in school. I was one of the geeky kids that got picked on. And let me tell you right now, eyeglasses are cool in the 2000s, but in 1980 or 81, they were not cool, and that was the last thing in the world I needed. I was working my way up the ladder here, and on top of that, I could see perfectly. So I thought the eye doctor, even at the age of 10, I was like, this eye doctor is a quack. And I told my mother that on the phone. I said, I'm just not going to wear glasses flat out. You can, she had pretty good authority over me. But I'm adopted, you see, so we weren't really in the same gene pool, and she knew that if I put my foot down on something, it wasn't going to happen. The bottom line was you could buy me glasses, but they'd be lost or broken the next day, and it's going to cost you a lot of money after a while. There's no way I'm going to wear glasses, ever. So I didn't. And ironically, 40 years later, he told her I had a lazy right eye. 40 years later, my right eye is a little droopy. And maybe it's related to what he said, but I don't think eyeglasses would have fixed it. Or maybe they would have. I don't know. Maybe they were right all along. But that's not why I'm here on this cast this morning. I'm here to talk about a little bit about politics, but only on a big picture scale. And I think that's going to be the name of my eventual new YouTube social media network. It's going to be called The Big Picture, just like my name on X is and on Facebook. The big picture is, and it's a periscope for which we can all look at the issues in politics under, and I've mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention it again. I want everyone to remember it. The real issue in geopolitics, and the real struggle between we all know, between the free world, which is basically the United States and MAGA, and the elitist, disgusting, old, ancient, you're either rich or you're poor, nothing in between world, which is what the world was all the way up until the United States came. And which it threatens to be again if MAGA goes down. We can't let MAGA lose. MAGA's all that's left of the free world. The Republicans, essentially. And I don't even mean the Republicans. I mean just the MAGA movement. We have a lot of Republicans that are not in tune. Especially here in Connecticut, we all know. Not only are they not in tune, but many of them are just on the other side pretending to be Republicans. You see, these Marxist pigs will do anything, break any rule. But the real struggle in politics, in the word, not politics. I hate that word. It makes it sound like it's a career, which it is, but for people, that's what it's become. Politics, if you look it up in the dictionary, and it's been a while since I looked it up, but it means something like selling yourself. It has something to do with just, having the right personality or whatever. That's all it is, But it's really, they should call it like leadership, captainship or whatever. Not captainship, that makes it sound military. I don't mean to be like that. Like some kind of, anyway. The real struggle is who's going to control the natural resources of the earth, right? The wood, the oil, the air even now, the water supplies, all the natural resources we learned about in elementary school. Who's going to control the distribution of that? The wealth. The gold and the jewels that are used to, compare with money to use to purchase these things. Money is just a medium of exchange. That's all it is. It's really all about the materials that we use to survive on Earth. Who's going to control that stuff? Is it going to be, there's only two different types of people that can control that stuff. It can either be organized and controlled by a state, a government, to be distributed supposedly wealth fairly amongst the people. Supposedly, that's the key word there. Which is really what socialism is and what communism is. What's really what communism is. Or the other alternative is capitalism, which is get the government out of the way. They can act as a referee. That's pretty much it. And let the people and families. That's the key word here. And that's if you want to remember one word from what I'm saying today, it's families. It's between the state and the family. That is the conflict. Republicans or Democrats, Whigs versus Federalists, whatever you want to call it. Whatever political party you want to throw in there. The gulags, whatever, out in Europe, whatever the hell they're doing out there. If you want to throw that in there, right now, the Republicans represent largely, I wish it was more completely, but largely they do represent that second best alternative and only alternative, in my opinion, which is to let the families and state and individuals and families compete for the stuff. Socialism is basically, again, it favors the state controlling it all. If we had a world full of nothing but good people and honest people, then we could do socialism, because then we could distribute the money fairly. Unfortunately, it only takes us, Guns N' Roses said it best, one bad apple spoils the whole damn bunch. And so all you need is a couple, 2, 3 bad people in positions of government, and it's just a small percentage of people that are dishonest, that want it all for themselves. And we know there's a lot of people like that. Same people that would in capitalism be forced to earn it for themselves are able to go in and worm it and tax it out of us and just steal it. And so that's why, like Julius Caesar himself said, what destroys republics is people know how to vote themselves out of the treasury, which is essentially Julius Caesar way back in the day warning us against socialism. A bunch of people crowding a room in New York voting for a mayor that thinks he's going to give them all free stuff, so they don't want to work for it. A bunch of young, lazy people buying the Kool-Aid from Mondami, basically wanting you to work for them for free. You want to enslave you to pay for their little free way through life. That's socialism. It's toxic. It lets the state control it. The result is no middle class. The vast majority of people suffer and die, honestly, quite frankly. And then there's got people in the government or your closest cohorts live on high on the hog. And that's what the Game of Thrones is. We all love that show. It's a great show. But do we want to live that way? Do you actually want to live in a world like that? Well, there you have it if you want to have Marxism in here in America. So remember, I guess the theme of what I'm saying is, when you look at all the issues in politics that we talk about, look at it under the scope of, does this help families and individuals compete for the wealth? Or is it give the state the preference? That's really what it's about. And that's what they fight about. That's what they know. That's what the tops of these most guys like Jeffries and Rockefeller and all these thugs. Yeah, Rockefeller. Rothschilds in England. Obamas, all these thugs that are Kennedys, even all these thugs that think they can rule the world. That's their mentality. Why do you think look, the Democratic Party's been the party of Jim Crow, slavery, all this stuff all these years. Somehow they've tried to pull the wool over everybody's eyes and make them think it's changed. Now we're the racists. That's the most ridiculous thing. You got to use your head, think it through. And remember, who's favoring the families and individuals? Now listen, capitalism isn't perfect, because under capitalism, certain greedy robber barons are able to get rich off of, get super, super rich by fucking people over, screwing people over. And that happens. There's unfairness in every aspect of life. One bad apple can spoil a lot of things, even in capitalism. So there's no perfect system. I think people that go for guys like Mondami and go for guys like Obama just want a utopia. They're thinking utopia. And these assholes like Obama and Mondami tell them they can have a utopia, essentially. Knowing that that'll fool a lot of people. They're foolers. They're liars and foolers. So, and the good news is, as people grow up and get out of college, they have to start paying their own bills on some level, as long as our society doesn't completely break down, then they learn quickly. So that's why most people over 40, over 30 especially, tend to lean to the right. So my point is, always look at it from the scope of, does it benefit individuals and families to share the wealth, to compete for it, because you have to compete for it. If there's no state to control it, that stands to reason you have to compete for it. And that's the essence behind competition and capitalism, and why you must consider always this issue is allow families and individuals to be free to compete. School alert. For wealth, for resources, or does it dictate it and tyrannically control it? And it's under essential power to supposedly, as they'll tell you, to be redistributed to the people. If people who are poor are struggling and they don't like capitalism, it'll get worse under socialism, trust me. At any rate, come by my location, my next location soon. We're going to cut this off for now. We'll be back hopefully tomorrow, very soon. Look out for the new YouTube network coming. I don't know how long it's going to take me. It's the technology that keeps getting in the way, but I'm getting there. So look out, world. Here comes freedom. Enjoy, everybody. Have a great day. God bless America. And God bless Connecticut, too. God help Connecticut.